Hello everybody, and welcome back to what is certainly becoming my favorite thing to do for the ultimate fashion history, Fave Film Fashion. Each week I throw a subjective spotlight on my own favorite movie fashion, and hopefully you will write in and tell me some of your favorite film fashion too, if you want to have a little video paying homage. This week from 1944, Double Indemnity, starring Barbara Stanwyck, Fred McMurray, Edward G. Robinson, directed by Billy Wilder, with a screenplay by Billy Wilder and Raymond Chandler. They didn't get on, evidently, based on the novel by James M. Cain, and with costumes by one of our favorites here at the Ultimate Fashion History, Edith Head. Now, we talked about Edith Head before, didn't we, when I covered White Christmas, and I focused on her attention to detail and her use of colour. Well, I can't do that in Double Indemnity because it was black and white. So what I'm going to do with Double Indemnity is sort of talk about just how brilliant Edith Head was in terms of using costume for character. Spoiler alert. I'm going to really try not to do too many spoiler alerts when discussing this ultimate film noir thriller, but I think one or two might slip out. But I'm hoping that if you're watching this video of mine, you've probably seen Double Indemnity, probably more than once. It's one of my favorite movies. I actually have to watch it twice a year at least, because it's part of my Cultural Connections to Fashion college course. I've made it for required viewing, and every semester I watch it in the classroom with the kids, and it's so great because the millennials who I teach tend to not like what they call old movies, especially black and white ones. And so they come into class to watch Double Indemnity already bored, already pissed off, thinking they're going to hate it. And then watching their faces change, and 20 minutes in, they are hooked. They're on the edge of their seats. There are those who argue that Double Indemnity isn't a film noir at all, that it is a precursor to film noirs. I disagree completely. I think it's the ultimate film noir. It has all the elements of a film noir, doesn't it? It has that urban setting, Los Angeles. It has shadows and Venetian blinds and crime and smoking and the anti-hero and the smart-assed voiceover, and most of all, the femme fatale, played to absolute perfection in Double Indemnity by Barbara Stanwyck. She was sensual, sexual, sinuous, seductive, but also sociopathic and genuinely sinister. And it is this delicate balance between sexy and creepy that highlights Edith Head's real mastery at characterization through costume. But before we even look at costume, we have to sort of address what many believe to be the white elephant in the room when it comes to Double Indemnity: Barbara Stanwyck's bizarre wig. This stiff, completely unconvincing blonde wig she wears throughout the movie. It was Billy Wilder's idea. Apparently he didn't know just how bad it looked until halfway through the movie, and since then he always tried to pass it off as being intentional, but I actually think it was intentional. The question is, why did he put a wig on Barbara Stanwyck at all? Especially a wig like this. This is one of the most bizarre looks I've ever seen. I have never before or since seen anyone wear the arms of their sunglasses on the outside of their hair. Obviously she had to do this because it was a wig. Have you ever seen anyone do this? Write in if you have, because I haven't. So why put a wig on Barbara at all when we all know she was a beautiful brunette? When I really think it was an excellent decision. The first time I saw Double Indemnity, I was horrified, absolutely horrified by this wig. But then I started to get it. It's not Barbara Stanwyck who's wearing the wig, it's the character she plays, Phyllis Dietrichson. Phyllis is wearing the wig. Phyllis is a cheap person. She's a diabolical person. She's also a person who we know through the plot doesn't get a lot of spending money from her husband, who's rather tight-fisted. And so you can imagine she'd want her hair to look perfect because she loves the accoutrements of wealth, even though she doesn't really have any. And she wouldn't be able to go to the hairdressers all the time to get her hair done. So she's the kind of person who's just hacky enough to think she could get away with wearing a wig and still look classy. Also, we know, little spoiler alert coming up, we learn in the film that Phyllis has killed before. We don't know how many times she may have killed before. Maybe she's sort of on the lam as well and doesn't want people to recognize her, and that's why she wears a wig. But when you kind of get into the wig, it really does work. It adds to her sort of creepiness. Interestingly, when we talk about costumes in Double Indemnity, the first time we see Phyllis, she isn't wearing any clothes at all. She appears at the top of a staircase in her rather creepy house with a towel wrapped around her, holding a pair of sunglasses. She then retreats very quickly to get dressed, and we see her coming down the stairs wearing these rather flashy shoes. And this is the morning. We know this is the morning. These flashy shoes with an anklet, an ankle bracelet. I read that somebody compared Phyllis Dietrichson's ankle bracelet with the tramp stamp of today, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant. She's actually in the process of getting dressed, of putting her dress on when she comes down the stairs, which is kind of a tacky thing to do. But she is in the business of seducing insurance salesman Fred McMurray, who has just arrived to update her husband's car insurance. And the dress she wears, I think, is brilliant. It's a ruffled white shirt dress, which, you know, one would sort of think is very dainty and feminine and classy, but it has these absolutely huge, shiny metal buttons. Very flashy. You can imagine Phyllis going to the store, going to Sears or Saks or wherever she bought her clothes, probably not Saks, I don't think she had the money, and seeing this dress, and if there was another white ruffled dress that didn't have big shiny buttons, she wouldn't go for it. She's all about, as I said, this kind of pretense of wealth and flashiness and costume jewelry. Take a look at this huge cocktail ring she's wearing in the middle of the day with her shiny red nails and that incredible bracelet. The next time we meet Phyllis, it is in the middle of the day again, because of course she has to meet Fred McMurray when her husband is at work. And yet she is wearing this incredibly flashy and gorgeous lounge dress. I want to talk about this dress in terms of Edith Head's brilliance at tailoring and correcting problems with people's bodies. Beautiful Barbara Stanwyck was very high-waisted. She had a very short torso and quite a low bottom. And so whenever Edith Head designed for her, she would tailor the costumes to correct these issues. And how she did it in this dress is quite genius. This is the back of the dress, and you can see it has a scallop bias effect between the top and the bottom. And then at the front, it comes up in a sort of scalloped empire with these wonderful bishop sleeves, but having it high at the front and low in that scallop at the back. And you'll often see Barbara Stanwyck wearing dresses or suits that have this effect because it lengthened her torso. It really did change her body dramatically. I love this dress. It is one of my favorite dresses in all of film fashion. And here is a detail. I can never tell if this is a print fabric at the top or an applique or what's going on there, but note the big flashy dress pin at the front. Oh God, I love that dress so much. The next outfit that Barbara Stanwyck as Phyllis Dietrichson wears in Double Indemnity is the outfit we probably most associate with the wardrobe of Double Indemnity and her look. This outfit, the very tight boat neck sweater, the black pencil skirt, and the high heel suede pumps. Why do we associate this outfit so strongly with the movie? Because this is what she is wearing on the cover of all the DVDs. However, she never wears this outfit in the movie. She just wore it for publicity pictures. The scene where we think she wears this outfit, she's wearing the sweater certainly, but she's wearing slacks and flats. And this was kind of a genius move on Edith Head's part in terms of narrative and characterization, because it is in this scene that Phyllis goes to Walter, played by Fred McMurray, goes to Walter's home, and they cinch the deal. It's her last chance to persuade him to help her kill her husband. So that's a spoiler. Oh, come on. How could I do this without some spoilers? And she arrives at his door with this wonderful wrap-over camel coat. She takes it off to reveal a very tight white sweater. Now this, of course, was the era of the sweater girls. Think Lana Turner. And the character Phyllis would definitely choose a tight sweater because she'd be thinking, ah, yeah, this is what men are going for these days. I'm going to wear a tight sweater because this is, you know, the thing to do if you want to seduce a guy. And yet, wearing slacks and flats, if he doesn't go for it, she can then just pretend that it never happened, that she was not trying to seduce him, that she was just, hey, wearing a sweater and slacks, come on. But it's very deliberate that Phyllis is wearing this tight sweater, especially as throughout the scene you can see her bra and her slip underneath it. Again, this was intentional. This was a promise to him of things to come. It was a promise of sex. One of the most nail-biting scenes in Double Indemnity is the scene when Walter arrives at the Dietrichson's household one evening to trick Mr. Dietrichson into signing his own death warrant, basically. And Phyllis is spending the evening at home with her family playing a board game with her stepdaughter. This is what she's wearing to stay in and play a board game. This black crepe faux wrap dress with silk string tassels. This is real floozy wear, isn't it? But it's offset so beautifully with what her stepdaughter is wearing. This sweet pussy bow blouse with a flattering A-line skirt. This is a nice girl, isn't it? The girl on the right isn't so nice. But you can almost see in costume how the narrative is going to play out, can't you? That this innocent young girl is soon to be a pawn in her stepmother's dastardly dealings. I know this isn't a very good picture, but I'm just showing it to you to again illustrate how beautifully Edith Head worked with tailoring. See, the bottom of the bodice to this dress is cut at a triangle, again to lengthen Barbara Stanwyck's rather short torso. And of course, we have to have some flashy jewelry. I believe that this isn't a brooch. I think that these are two dress clips. Dress clips were very, very popular in the 1940s. I have a ton of them. I love vintage dress clips. So if any of you have any you'd like to send to me, bring it on. Thank you. Such a fabulous dress. It's no wonder it actually appears on some of the original movie posters for Double Indemnity. Two very important scenes in the movie take place at Jerry's Market, a supermarket. And this is what Barbara wears in the first of the two scenes. Now here she is wearing the black pencil skirt, but it is teamed with this wonderful bishop sleeve white blouse with a sleeveless houndstooth check vest with Western detailing, because of course the 1940s also saw the big Western trend. In the second of the supermarket scenes, she again wears the same blouse, but this time with the pants that she was wearing in the earlier scene. And I love this. I love it when wardrobe is reused in movies. This is what real people do, isn't it? We don't have new clothes every day of our lives. We wear our wardrobe. And so what I love is how Edith Head took elements and separates from here and from there and from one scene to another, and mixed them and blended them just as a real woman would. I love that. Before we discuss the final scene between these two awful people, awful characters, I wanted to share with you something that I learned quite recently about the set design and the lighting in Double Indemnity. Billy Wilder really wanted to get the effect of dust in the sunlight. Again, this really plays into just how sort of cheap and nasty Phyllis Dietrichson and her husband are. They live in this sort of big 1920s rambling house, but they can't really afford or are willing to pay for a good cleaner, so there's always this kind of dusty feel to it, very creepy. And to get this effect, silver dust from real silver, was sprayed throughout the shooting to give this kind of effect of dust in the sunlight, or here dust in the moonlight. So let's discuss this final scene. Can I do it without a spoiler? Probably not. Phyllis wears a jumpsuit, a beautiful white ruched jumpsuit, which is so impossible to photograph because she only stands up and you only see her full length for about a split second. You hardly have time to snap the shutter on your camera. But I think you can get the effect here. And again, attention is given to this anklet, which keeps coming up in the plot over and over again. Isn't this a gorgeous outfit with these huge bishop sleeves, so slinky, so sinuous, and so interesting that it's white? The scene is set at night. It's very dark, and Walter shuts the shutters, which makes it even darker. So I think one of the reasons Phyllis is wearing white is practical. If she was wearing dark colors, it would be hard to see her. But wearing white sort of implies she's a lamb to the slaughter, doesn't it? And that's as far as I will go with the spoilers. No, it's not, because the very last moment, the very last bit of Phyllis we see is when she's lying dead on the couch. And although you can't see it in this photograph that I took, you see her anklet, and that's the last bit of Phyllis we see. Fabulous costumes. I love this movie, and I would happily wear any of Barbara Stanwyck's wardrobe in Double Indemnity if I had Barbara Stanwyck's body, which I don't. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this foray into Fave Film Fashion. Many of you have written in already with suggestions for the series Fave Film Fashion, so keep it coming. I love your suggestions. And as soon as I've done all of my own Fave Film Fashion, I will get around to doing videos of yours. You can contact me through YouTube, private message, or email me directly through my website, amandahalley.com. And in the meantime, don't let anyone take any accident insurance out on you, all right? Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.